Here we go.
Oh,
So it's
do I need
the
to press continue?
yeah, press
Oh
continue.
yeah. There you
It's the Hard Dance Happy Hour, and for this month, I have Ryan Walker with me today. Hi,
Hello.
Ryan. How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
Good, good. Lovely to have you here. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for asking me.
Yeah, no worries. And well, let's get juicy. Let's get a little bit juicy, Ryan.
Oh, you got to get juicy, haven't you?
You got to when we're in your presence, it's got to be done. You can see the lovely, for those that are actually watching this back on YouTube, you can see Ryan's in the background. He's got the juicy podcast thing on his screen there. Look, he's all ready.
Yeah.
So
Got to get the promo in, haven't you?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So a little bit of an introduction for those of Ryan. So he's a multi-genre DJ. So mixing tech house, tough house, hard house, and anything beyond as well. You, Ryan?
Yeah, exactly. First and foremost, I'm a music fan, so yeah, anything goes. I'm not one of these. Yeah, I'm not one of these people that kind of sticks with a certain kind of music. If I like it, I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely, yeah. No, you're a man after my own heart, because I think your style of what you play is exactly, it's just a bit of me. I love it. Loads of groove, just really funky. I just love it. And it, I'm exactly the same. I love playing tech house, but tough house, hard house. So yeah. Also a fellow podcast host as well for the Juicy
Indeed.
Podcasts. Yeah. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that if we can, Ryan. So
yeah, of course.
Podcast, the Juicy Podcast, I think you started that in 2017, if I'm right.
Yeah, that's right. February 2017. At the time, how can I put this into words? So at the time, I've been mixing for so long. I mean, at that point, I would have been mixing sort of 17 years in clubs for not long less than that. And I was just like, what? Why am I not getting anywhere? What am I doing wrong? Etc. etc. So I was like, right, I need a focus. I need a thing. I didn't know what that thing was, but I was like, I need a thing. I need someone to know who I am, what I'm about. And I was like, right. So having a look around, I was like, what has Hard House got? What has Hard House not got that's missing? And what gaps can I fill? And at the time, obviously, we all do our mixes, we put our mixes online, but there wasn't really anything that was kind of like a show as such. I didn't want to get into radio because for personal reasons, I can't really commit to that. But I did just want to do something where I was like, I need to engage with people. I need to be speaking. I need them to hear a little bit about me. So not just the music, but a bit about me, know who I am, what I'm about. So I thought, cracked it. I'm going to do a podcast. So started doing a little bit of research. How does it work? What equipment do I need? And fortunately, I had quite a few of the bits already. So I was like, do you know what? Let's go for it. And it just went from there. At the time, we talked about obviously the different styles of music. At the time, I was adamant that I didn't want it just to be hard house. So as I said a minute ago, I like all my tech stuff. I like stuff that's a bit funkier and stuff like that. And at the time, there wasn't realistically that many people kind of catering for that. So I wanted to take a bit of influence for both. So so starting 2 mixes. So starting at the beginning of the show with a tech house mix, and then gradually getting harder as the podcast goes on with obviously the hard house at the end. So people seem to like it, and here we are.
I'm an
4.5 years later.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's a really, really good podcast. I absolutely love it. So it's really good. And it's a monthly podcast, isn't it? I think I listen once a month.
Correct, that's right.
You have a guest on as well, doing their bit.
Indeed. We're starting to get a few more guests on now. During the start, I didn't want it to be guest every week because, as I said, I wanted the focus to be on myself and what I'm about. So I didn't want to kind of dilute that with too many guests on the show. So had a guest on sort of every other show. But there's just so many good DJs out there and so many people that kind of slide into me DMs and they're like, can I come on your podcast? Come on, come on. Can I come on your podcast? So so trying to get a lot more people in there. So
if you
a lot more guests these days.
With mine, and I think if I could do it more often, I so would, because there's so many people, so many amazing DJs and producers that I want to get on. But you just think actually once a month, it's only 12 a year. It's not enough.
I know.
It's not enough, but I have no time to do any more. It's actually quite time consuming, isn't it? I know you were saying earlier about radio and getting into that and the commitment, but it really is quite time consuming. Doing a podcast with everything that goes along with it, and all the promotion and
I suppose what people don't always realise as well is it might just be, say, in my instance, say an hour show, but there's probably 8 hours of work for that 1 hour. You're recording the mixes, you're doing the vocals, you're putting it all together and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah.
But it's good fun.
But it's all good fun,
it's
yeah.
Good fun. It's good fun. Why did you call it then? Where did Juicy come from?
Well, I get asked this quite a lot because people just think kind of like juicy, oh yeah, juicy gossip. But actually, it's quite a funny story, really. But like all my clubbing friends and stuff, we're quite a close-knit group, and it kind of came from maybe, oh God, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 years ago, that we would describe something as good as juicy. So it just kind of came from that. So like if you had, I don't know, if you heard like a track that was really good, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's well juicy. I don't know, if you've got a new t-shirt or something, you're like, oh, what do you think? You'd be like, oh yeah, it's well juicy.
Now they say like, oh, sick.
yeah. So
or bruh. That's what my kids say. Bruh. You're like, oh my God, stop it.
Long before Peng, there was juicy.
Yeah. It's brilliant though. It's short and it's catchy. It's definitely got a
exactly.
It,
and you can apply it to a lot as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything can be juicy.
Yeah.
So
brilliant. And off the back of your podcast is then when you started doing the Juicy events, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So for a good few years, probably since, I don't know, I think about 2014 or 15, me and my wife Nat had always kind of toyed with putting on our own events because we'd done them years ago, probably sort of 10 years prior.
Oh, right.
Those were hardcore events back over in Lincolnshire where we used to live. And for ages, we'd always toyed with it, and we were like, it's always that thing. Do I commit? Do I go for it? Will anyone turn up? So in the back of my mind, we've always wanted to do that. And like I said, launched the Juicy podcast. It was building quite a bit of momentum, and everyone was kind of getting involved and stuff. And we were coming up to kind of like the anniversary of the podcast launching, and we'd decided if we're going to do it, this is probably a good time to do it, because we can use the podcast as kind of an introduction to like, well, the next step basically. So took the year, started to build a bit of a following for the podcast, and took it from there. We picked some of the DJs that had been guests that year as well. So trying to think who we had. So we had obviously myself. We had lovely Dawn Lee, who was on the show not long ago.
Yeah, she was a couple of months ago.
Yeah, lovely Dawn. Loved Dawn to bits. General Bounce, Venkman, Little Miss Natalie, and Jimmy Gooders, who is our resident. So awesome. I think at that point, all of them had a mix. And actually, no, sorry, Dawn hasn't. But I think everyone had a mix at that point. So yeah, we kind of used that as the kind of way to promote it, really. People have been saying we'd love these mixes. So we're like, well, there you go. Dance to them.
And it went well.
So yeah.
Now on year 4, you've just had the 4th birthday, haven't you?
Yeah, with a 2-year holiday.
Yes. Yeah, we won't forget those.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, if anyone asks, we've just had the 4th birthday, but yeah.
I came to the 4th birthday. I had a great time. Yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed myself.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I just jumped to the car, came on my Todd, and Dad didn't stop
sometimes you got to just do that.
Yeah, no, it's really good, and nice little venue actually. Is that the first time you've done it at that venue? So
it was the second,
Hidden Warehouse in Nottingham.
Yeah, that's right, which is actually a brand new venue. So they actually took the space on over lockdown, and had done a load of refurbishment and stuff to get it ready for when things kind of open back up again. It's quite a long story, but an interesting story behind it. But I'll try to keep it short. But they actually took it on wanting to open a bar. Because you'll remember from going, it's kind of down an alley, and it kind of opens up. Yeah, it's quite cool. You don't know it's there unless you kind of told.
No, exactly.
But yeah, they were wanting to open like a bit of a bar, because it used to be like a bookmaker's. It was like a Coral Bookmakers, something like that. And it was just quite a small room. And yeah, going to open this cocktail bar and going to be quite quirky and trendy. And yeah, so they started to clear all the rubbish out and start to make way with renovating it. And then they realized all the walls were hollow. And they were like, hang about, something's not quite right here. So they started to take the walls down. And then that's when they realized that there was that massive room where we were.
Yeah.
And then just near the entrance, the stairs to the right-hand side, they had no idea those stairs were there.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
yeah, open those up, and there's they're not open to the public, but there's another 2 floors above that. So yeah,
that's quite, so it actually is hidden. It was all hidden.
Yeah, the whole kind of thing just fits. And yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why they called it hidden. Not only because it's kind of behind all of the other buildings, but yeah, because they had no idea that that was there.
That's cool. That's a right find, isn't it? That's really awesome. Can you imagine that? Oh, what's behind this? This is a secret door.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So like moved a load of rubbish, and it was just like, hang on, there's a hole here, and I can see light through the other side.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah, it's really underground. I just like it. It was a really, and I love that entrance bit. So as you walk through the doors, for people who haven't been, you literally got it's like a tiny little alleyway, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah, you'll get greeted by me and Nat, and then you'll go down a tiny little alleyway for about what feels like a mile.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, it's a really good night actually. And your next one is, so you've got one coming up this year, which is July.
We have. It's a summer event, yeah. So it's actually a joint event with Cheeky Tracks. So we had actually planned to do an event July 2020. Obviously, we all know how that panned out, but we were still had restrictions in place at that point. So unfortunately, we couldn't go ahead. So we've been kind of hoping and praying and thinking, yeah, let's get something done. But yeah, eventually, obviously, restrictions were lifted. And we're like, do you know what, Dave? The venue's given us some dates. Do you fancy doing that that joint event? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And one of the dates that he offered us, the venue, sorry, offered us was Nottingham Pride.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, General Bounce spent many years working in the gay district within Manchester, so as a resident DJ in some of the clubs there. So it just all kind of fitted, and we thought, do you know what? I play a lot of his music.
Great.
I really enjoy him as a DJ, so we thought, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, it sounds good. No, really good collaboration, and I'm gutted because I wanted to come, but I can't because.
Oh, bless you.
Frantic, yeah, but I would love to have come to that. You'll have to do another one.
Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing for you. As soon as I saw your name on there, I was like, go on, girl.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be mega, absolutely mega. So that is, if anybody wants to get tickets for that, Ryan, is on the 30th of July, isn't it?
Yeah, 30th of July here in Nottingham. Just head over to skiddle.com and search Juicy, and you'll find us.
Yeah, awesome. So when you started mixing, I think it's year 2000, I think you said, wasn't it, when you started to mix? Was it
that's
harder genres? Like you briefly mentioned hardcore earlier, and that you were previously doing some events with hardcore. Is that where your kind of love started? Was it a bit harder?
Yeah,
tech house?
Kind of. I mean, definitely a lot harder than tech house. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. So like a lot of people from that kind of area, that's not very good English, from the area. Massively into like my rave music and my rave culture. So growing up, it was always like happy hardcore and things like that. And that's kind of where like my love was at the time. And so, I just absolutely just destined for the day where I could go to my first rave, and just hoping and praying that I could go one day. And that day came, and I think I'd only been left school. It would have been the August. I'd literally only left school probably about 6 to 8 weeks. I think it was August bank holiday, the year 2000. Went to my first rave, and I was like, right, that's it. This is my life this is my life from now on in.
Yeah,
there's no going back.
Anything else?
Yeah.
So you were 16. I was similar. So I was 18 when I started. But my love for everything rave was happy hardcore as well. And I remember being
Yeah.
15 at school. I'm a bit older than you. I'm only a few years older than you, I think, Ryan. So it was in 95. And I can just remember like walking around my little Walkman and my Dreamscape tapes playing and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I just absolutely loved it. And yeah, first rave, it wasn't a hardcore event, sadly. I always said as soon as I turn 18, that's it. I'm going to a hardcore event, but I didn't. So mine was hard house, hard trance. But
Yeah.
yeah, same as you.
Well,
I was like, this is
there
my
was a
life
lot of
now.
that going on round near where I lived. So where I grew up in Lincolnshire, the venue that I was talking about was in a quarry workshop, and there was actually loads and loads of events. In fact, you know, Eden in Ibiza.
Yeah.
That's one of the venues they originally started out at.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, so that's where they started out, and like locally there was the likes of say Colin Barrett, Ingo. They were kind of rising through the ranks.
Yeah.
And Hot Wax was my local kind of record shop.
Yeah.
So kind of got to see them regularly when I go in to buy records and whatever. So even though I was very young, kind of still got to know these people. In fact, Charlie J, who was one of the guys that used to work in the shop, he's a few tracks on and Hot Wax. We're still friends to this day, and yeah, it's really really cool how that friendship still stayed after all this time.
Oh, I love that.
But,
they tend to, though, don't they? Those that you rave with, you stay with. Whatever,
oh,
the bloody
definitely.
saying is, but it is so true. There's so many people, you know, that I've stayed in touch with, and you're talking, you know, 20 years ago or plus, aren't you? So yeah, it's awesome. It's just such an experience. That's why. You're playing as well, Ryan, at the Tidy Weekender, I believe. Tidy Land Weekender, as it's now being called, which is, mind blown. Oh my God. And that is just not to put, you know, to frighten you, but it's 3 months today.
I know, I think it's 2 weeks before Juicy, something like that. It's the beginning of July,
8th,
isn't it?
8th of July,
yeah.
8th, 9th, 10th of July. Yeah.
So yeah, really, really looking forward to that.
I bet you are.
I'm playing twice actually. Obviously, well, I got entered into the.
You're playing twice.
Yeah, I just had to get that one in, didn't I? But yeah, what's going to say? Yeah, so I was entered into the DJ competition, got nominated for that, and yeah, I did quite well. I think I came about 5th or 6th. I'm like, wow, considering there's like 100 people in there. Brilliant. So yeah, but that was really good. I don't know if anyone's seen my mix at Tidy HQ, but yeah, that was really, 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 really fun. So yeah, got the weekend the competition set that I'll be playing, and then also as well on the Saturday, I'm joining the guys in the shed. So for a bit of
they've got an outdoor
planting and potting up and
taking
some cuttings and planting some tomatoes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, behave yourself. I can't see that happening whatsoever. But yeah, that's going to be awesome. They've got their own outdoor shed stage, haven't they? So that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to be so.
That's going to be Tech and Tough House in that set as well. So yeah, nice cool vibes in the daytime.
Yes, so I'm really looking.
So yeah, I'm so excited for it. Really am.
I know. I bet you are. Be buzzing. And another one that I think is just a really unique experience as well that you're playing at is Unity in the Sun in May.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Corfu. Is that
a few weeks away now. Yeah, it's Corfu. So yeah, it's in Kavos in Corfu. Right. So yeah, Partyville. But yeah, it's really, really good. Again, it's multi-genre, so you've got everything there. So obviously I'll be there like playing my hard house and stuff. But yeah, they'll have hard house, they'll have trance, they'll have jungle and drum and bass, they'll have obviously old school because they're big. A lot of their demographic is like older clubbers, older ravers.
Yeah, so this is run
by
you've got
the
Billy
old school there.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Billy Bunter and Fat Controller. So yeah, there's literally a bit of everything. Yeah. In fact, as we record this last night, they announced the boat parties. So yeah, so they've got a jungle, an old school boat party, and a hardcore and hard house boat party. So yeah, looking forward to those.
Absolutely brilliant. That's just brilliant. Yeah. I love that. Nice bit of sun. That's what we need.
Definitely.
Tunes for a week. Yes.
In fact, one of my I hate using the word career because how can it be a career when it's so fun? But one of my kind of career highlights was last year, although we kind of had to go with restrictions and stuff in place, we were still able to go ahead with the boat parties.
Yeah.
Because the rules for those are slightly different because they're still classed as transport. So yeah, we were still able to go on there and have the music and everything. And that was a massive highlight. Myself and General Bounce, we played back to back for 2 hours. And it's brilliant. You got the sun and awesome.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
Brilliant. I definitely want to get myself to one of those. Really do.
And it's so cheap as well.
Is it?
So cheap. I don't know if you've been to Ibiza, but I know I have, and I know probably a lot of people listening will have done. It's just so expensive.
That's ridiculous.
But Kavos, I mean, Greece itself, it's just so cheap. I mean, you'll go there and you'll spend like, say, a tenner on like 3-course meal. It's insane. When me and my wife say to people, "Oh, it's so cheap, people don't actually realise how cheap it is. Get like a full English breakfast for like £2. It's mental.
You certainly wouldn't get that in Ibiza, would you? Jesus.
No.
No way.
Need a second mortgage just for your bar.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy money. So a few just random questions for you then, Ryan. If I may. What is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh God, I'll be perfectly honest. I try to avoid any kind of embarrassing situations. As much as I love getting on the stage and putting on the show and everything. Yeah. Any kind of situation where I might make myself look a tit, I'll usually avoid. But
do you know what I mean? No one wants to make themselves look like a tit, but sometimes it just happens.
I'm just trying to think, but yeah, I mean, one thing that does spring to mind. It would have been a while ago, maybe 2007 or 8. Me and my wife Nat, we went to a HTID event, Halfway Till I Die, for those who don't know what that is. So yeah, went to a HTID event at Roller World in Derby. And at the time, we lived quite a way away. So we'd had this massive long journey. Of course, back then, there was none of this like e-tickets, scan in. You had to like queue for like hour minimum. All your paper tickets and all of that kind of stuff. It's like, we're talking kind of like 5,000 people into the venue. So yeah, so it takes a while to get in. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, of course, we're coming up and I'm like, Nat. And she's like, what? I was like, I think you need a poo. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. So of course I'm like, well, I can't go anywhere. The only thing I could do is go in the queue, because I'm like, well, this is not a small queue. We need to join the queue. So yeah, so we're queuing, and it was well over an hour and a half, something like that. And I'm desperately holding it. I'm like, oh no, I can't. So anyway, I literally held it all that time, got in the venue, literally ran straight to the loo, and I was like, oh yes, this is my moment, loving it. Look to the side, no toilet paper. I'm like, oh my God, you are absolutely kidding.
God.
So I was like, no way. So yeah, I was like, I'm like, what the hell do I do? So I'm like, opened the door. I was like, there's no one there. So I went out, I was like, what can I use? So there was a big, massive poster like advertising the next event on the wall. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm having it. So pulled this poster off, went back in, wiped my ass on this poster. So yeah, Darren Styles, if you're watching or listening, I've wiped your face on my ass. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Dazza.
Oh my God, that is absolutely brilliant. Oh my God.
Yeah, it helped me out in the hour of
need. I bet that was a little bit rough. What about the good old-fashioned sock? Did you not want to use your sock?
Well, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, but Nike do a shoe called a Nike Air Rift, and they're kind of like a trainer, but kind of like a sandal. So you don't wear any socks. So yeah.
So you were sockless.
Yeah, sockless. So yeah, I couldn't wear them.
That's bad shoe choice for that particular day. Do you know what I mean? But you were like, for God's sake.
Yeah. So yeah, the shoes are so comfy for dancing in, because they're like sports shoes for running and stuff. So really, really comfortable. But yeah, when you need a shit. Yeah. Although they got me to the toilet quite quick.
Yeah, there you go. Swings and roundabouts.
So yeah, that's probably one of the most embarrassing times I've had. But you've got to laugh about it, haven't you? So
That is absolutely brilliant.
I'll save that story for when I meet him one time. I've met him a few times to like say hello and stuff, but never to launch that
can you
story on
imagine
him.
someone coming up to you though with that story and you're like, yeah, I wiped my ass on your face. You'd be like, what? Brilliant. Absolute quality story. What is the juiciest, because you know you are the juicy man, what is the juiciest bit of gossip you've ever heard?
Oh, well, a little bit of juicy info, and I've not told anybody this yet. I've not even told anyone in the juicy group or on the juicy podcast, on the juicy page, anything like that. But after a little bit of a break, I've had a few months away. The juicy podcast is coming back later this year, so got lots of guests lined up, and really excited about that.
Yes.
As you know, obviously the last couple of years have been a bit kind of up in the air, people working from home and things like that. So I've been sharing my studio space with my wife, Nat, who works from home, and subsequently she works nights as well. So when I'm kind of home and I would normally record, she's kind of working. So we're having to kind of
that's hard, isn't it?
Work opposites and stuff. So I thought, do you know what? I'll take a couple of months out and whatnot, and
so
get all the ideas together.
So
it's going to be later on this year. I've already got quite a few guests lined up. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, definitely look forward to that. Awesome. When was the last time you screamed at the top of your lungs?
I'll be honest, I'm not really a screamer.
He's not a screamer. He's not a screamer. Well, I don't know what about roller coaster, or like you just one of them silent like.
Yeah, I'm a clencher. Just hold on to the bars.
Yeah. I'm not a screamer, I'm a clencher.
I've already told you I'm a clencher, haven't I?
Yeah, you had to be. He's got the tightest butt cheeks ever after that hour and a half in a queue.
Some steel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's been a time recently where I've like really gone for it, either like angrily or whatever.
Yeah,
but
really?
when I get behind the decks, that's probably the only time I kind of scream with all the come-ons and the yeahs and the whatever. And then
with no voice the next day.
Finish my set and everyone's like, oh, great set. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
I'm really bad for screaming. When people make me jump, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I proper scream. I can't. It's just like the reaction. Like I don't think anyone can help their reaction, can they, when someone makes them jump? And I get really angry. So that's probably the last time I screamed.
I'm a devil for doing that as well.
I do it.
I love going behind people, and I can sense that they've not known I'm there, and I won't do anything. I'll just stand there, and then when they turn around, they'll go. Whoa!
Just lurking.
Yeah.
Just stand right behind them, like. Where you're from? In Lincolnshire, isn't it? So, what is your hometown best known for?
Yeah. So you're right. So, born and raised in Lincolnshire, and it's predominantly, I'd say, probably most well known for its cathedral. It's got a massive cathedral there, really well kept as well, and really beautiful cathedral. But also good old-fashioned Lincolnshire sausages as well.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't beat a Lincolnshire sausage on a Sunday with a Yorkie pud or two.
They're a bit herby, Lincolnshire sausages.
They are. Yeah, really seasoned. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a Cumberland.
But yeah, kind of. Yeah, really girthy seasoned sausage.
Oh, girth on your sausage.
But yeah, I've been living in Nottingham for that last 12 or so years now. So yeah. This is our kind of home now. But yeah, Nottingham, obviously it's known for its Robin Hood and all the usual kind of stuff.
Yes.
But get people say duck a lot. So on social media, you'll probably notice that sometimes people use like the duck emoji when they're speaking to me on that.
Yeah. I
so
love
it's
that
a really
because
common
my
thing.
nan and granddad used to call each other. They were from Berkshire though.
Oh right, okay.
And I think it used to be Berkshire, but then it changed to Oxfordshire, and they always called each other duck. And so when I was little, I just thought it was just a thing between them two. But then, I think, who was it I was talking to months ago now? And it must have been I don't know, it was someone from up your way. And they started calling me duck. And I was like, oh my God, my nan and granddad call each other duck. It's really cool. I like it. I wonder why. Where did it actually come from? Why
yeah,
duck?
not a clue. It's very much a Midlands thing. Yeah, like Nottingham, Derby kind of area. So yeah. But everybody says it. It's not like I don't know. It's just a term of endearment.
It's
People
like
will just say it.
every time you say hi, it's
Morning, duck.
yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
duck.
I love it. That's really cool. So any social links, Ryan? I know you've got your own website. There's a couple of websites I think that you've got that we can direct people to, which basically has links to the podcast and to everything, really, doesn't it? Your events.
Yeah, I mean, if you literally just go to djryanwalker.com, everything will be there. So it's all set out. So you've got a page for the events, you've got a page for the podcast, a page for my mixes.
Yeah,
everything's on there. Links to social media, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so basically go there, djryanwalker.com.
Yeah, everything's there. There's a sign up as well. So if you drop your email in there, occasionally I'll send out mixes and stuff just to the mailing list. So they'll be private. So just for like the real dedicated people. So they get all the treats.
Yeah.
Yes, defo.
It's been really lovely chatting to you. I'm glad we finally got to have a chat, because when I came
we've been trying to do this for ages.
I know. We was trying to set it up in 2021, weren't we? It was just like mentally busy. Keeps leaving me on unread, actually, everybody. That's what Ryan does. Keeps leaving me on unread. I'm like, come on, just answer my bloody messages.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy. Thank you. Really appreciate it. It's been great to have you.
Oh, it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed myself, and I really appreciate you asking me on.
Yeah,
I'm glad we finally got it done.
I know, it's brilliant. And Ryan has done us also a mini mix to follow this chat, so do not leave. Awesome mini mix. And how would you describe your mini mix, Ryan, for anybody that's going to be listening?
I tried to show a bit of everything. So I've got some funky at the start, build you up, bit of bouncy in the middle, and something a bit harder at the end.
Perfect. Nice
There you go.
Typical Ryan progression. Love it. Thank you again, and take care, and I'll see you soon.
Amazing.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye.